today we are going to do a review of my shoe. Yes, the Fizik Artica X5 is my new shoe. You may well be aware, if you watched my 100-mile gravel ride in December, that I didn't have the best attire for my feet under very wet circumstances, and I got very cold and extremely wet and disgusting and filthy. So I bought these. So in this episode, I'm going to let you know how I got on with this shoe, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and of course I'm going to get extremely muddy because, you know, that's what I do. Stay tuned. Okay, you might wonder why I haven't got a pair of winter boots already, seeing as I rode for 365 days a few years ago, and I do have a pair of winter shoes, but these are the SPD version, because I'm riding SPDs now, because I like actually being able to walk in shoes, which I tend to do up various hills these days. So Fizik actually say about these shoes, they say that the Artica X5 is a perfect winter off-road cycling shoe for warmth, comfort, protection and performance riding in even the coldest, wettest conditions off-road. Fully waterproof with advanced insulation properties, trail protection and robust grip, Artica X5 beats the elements, yet is a tough, lightweight performance shoe. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Pretty much the entire shoe is made up of rubber, apart from this neoprene section at the top here on the ankle. The zip is watertight. It goes all the way up to the ankle, and it has a lacing system inside there. It's got lots of tread on the bottom, and the cleat doesn't protrude past the rubber there, so you don't get any click, click, clacking on the ground when you walk. See? Sizing. I'd say they're pretty true to size. I actually got a size 1 up by accident. I ordered my size and they came in a size bigger, but it actually worked out quite well because that means I can fit a couple of pairs of socks in it, which is quite handy for winter riding, obviously. So I think they're not particularly wide, so if you've got wide feet, then these might not be for you. What about comfort? Well, they're actually a lot comfier than I was expecting them to be honest, because they're quite rigid. I mean, they're made of quite hard rubber in places here, especially around the ankle. But I was really pleasantly surprised at how comfortable they are. They actually mold. You can see how they've started molding to my foot. So yeah, that makes a huge difference. And the neoprene here at the top is quite flexible as well. Obviously, like with any shoe, you have to get used to it because it does feel different. And my feet were a little bit wondering what on earth was going on when I first put them on. But now I can bang out a 300-kilometer ride in them, no problem. So top marks for comfort. I'm going to talk about the performance of these mainly in extreme weathers, the cold, the wet, snow, which is basically when you would use them. I have worn them up to temperatures of about 10 degrees and my feet are slightly on the warm side, to be honest, with these. So I'd probably go with my other shoes and a pair of thick socks around that kind of temperature. What are they like in the cold? Well, I've ridden with them in temperatures down to around -3 and I had ski socks on, and they were pretty nice and toasty actually with ski socks. I reckon I could have gone down a few more temperatures. I think I could have gone down a few more temperatures. What are they called? Degrees. A few more degrees with that. I've ridden through a snowstorm with them. That's a snowstorm by British standards, by the way, not like an Antarctic snowstorm. And they fared very well indeed. Certainly for British weather, I think that these are perfectly adequate. I don't think you would need another shoe, to be honest. And if you do live or travel somewhere that's colder, then I'd say that these are probably good down to maybe -7, 8, 9, 10. If you've got a couple of pairs of socks in there and you're not out for too long, I reckon they would do the trick, because they do let your feet stay nice and dry, which is the great thing. Which leads me to the rain. I have ridden in the rain with these in the wet, and I can tell you that they are very, very good in the wet. Nothing comes through here. The zip is pretty much waterproof. Maybe a little bit would come in there. The neoprene keeps away the most of the rain as well. Unfortunately, it's got this giant hole in the top, you know, where you put your feet through. If shoes could come without a big hole in the top, we probably wouldn't have such an issue with them being waterproof. So I think that anything outside of a torrential downpour where the water is coming in from the top of the shoe, I think the shoe's going to handle. I do have a hack to try out for torrential rain, but I don't want to share too much now in case it doesn't work. And I obviously need to wait for torrential rain before I can try that little system out. It's a very modular system. I'm going to try it out. One of the reasons why I chose to go with SPDs instead of road cleats is so that I could walk in the shoes. And with my 5.9s that I have, are they called 5.9s? I think they are. Sometimes I would actually slip on the metal part, the actual SPD cleat itself would actually slip on the ground when I'm walking. These are amazing. I never thought that it was actually an issue until I got these and put my foot down on tarmac, and they stick like glue. I mean, they're really, really grippy, and it didn't even occur to me that that made a big difference, but it really does. And you can walk in mud in them and still be able to clip back in. And because they're waterproof over the top, you know, you're basically wearing wellies, so really good for walking in mud and whatnot, and keeping your feet nice and clean and dry, which is nice. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're wondering, how much are these bad boys going to set me back? Well, I can tell you, quite a substantial amount. They retail at around £190. Compared to other shoes of the same quality, they're about on par. So, you know, it's not like they're overly expensive in comparison. For me, buying something of quality is much better. It will last you a hell of a lot longer. You'll be a lot happier riding it than if you buy something a little bit cheaper and maybe doesn't perform as well. I just really like them. I like them a lot. Is there nothing bad about these shoes? Well, yes, there is. There is one major thing that really quite winds me up, and one thing that is a little bit annoying, and it's both to do with doing these up. So inside here, it's got a lacing system, and the lace is really long. I don't understand why it's really long, because if you actually used all of the lace, you would have like a foot the size of a balloon, and you wouldn't fit a balloon foot into this, would you? No, you wouldn't. So I don't understand why they have to have this excessive amount of lace that you just then have to tuck in. And it's got a little grip thing here that tightens the laces, which is great. Quick release, you just pull it, and that's fine. But tucking it in is a little bit annoying, and this little Fizik thing here, tucking that in is a little bit annoying. Again, like I say, it's a little bit annoying. It's not a deal breaker in any way. One of the most annoying things though is doing these up. So it's got a zip, it goes all the way up the ankle. If I pull them, when they're on my feet, when you get to the bend here, it starts to hold, and if you've got cold fingers, you just won't get that on. So you have to kind of pull it tight, and it's really, really irritating. So when I was bike packing and I had been sleeping in about -3, put these back on, I just pulled the zip to here, and then I just closed the Velcro here, because there was no way that I was going to get that zip up anymore. Luckily it wasn't raining, so you know, it was fine. But that is something that really is not great. It should be a little bit wider here around the ankle for my liking, just so you can get that zip up a little bit easier and quicker. that was my review of the Fizik Artica X5 winter boots. If you've got any comments, please let me know in the comments below. And until next time.